Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at Walmart off of El Dorado Road in Frisco, Texas. As always, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. Plant foldies, you already know it helps this channel out greatly, and I would hope you guys could support me by just pressing the like button, as well as following me on Instagram at GrowFold. I would love to connect with you. You can send me a direct message, ask me any questions that you see. But before we get into the plant shopping, I did want to say that I am part of a plant podcast called The Cultivation Corner with Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plants. Please be sure to support us for season 2. Can you believe it? Season 2 will be coming out on February 18th, 2025. 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Cultivation Corner official YouTube channel, so definitely search for us. But as you can see right here, I am going to a lot of Walmarts to go shopping for plants. You can see this is another one that I sometimes get to. It's a little bit further out there for where I actually am based at, but I did want to show you some of the plants and planters. So I've shown you guys already plant foldies, and for those that are new to the channel, that are just discovering my channel, first of all, thank you for clicking on the thumbnail to watch my videos. I hope you are actually into plants because I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie. I do faceless YouTube, so you won't see my face, but you will see tons and tons of plants and anything plant related. But you can see right over here, I did want to show you some of the planters that they have available at Walmart. And as far as Walmart and the planters that they have, I can tell you that planters at Walmart are very much so cost effective. They are definitely inexpensive. I would say even borderline cheaper than most big box stores or even places that sell planters. So I'm just gonna pick up a couple of the planters here, give you some commentary before we actually start to talk about some of the plants that they have available. You can see this one is for $6.48. So you've got some Monstera leaves and some other leaf patterns here. And then we also have like a bumblebee type planter right over here. This one, I believe, is also for $6.46. And we're going to look over here. So these are the resin planters. And these are basically planters that you can use as catch pots. And what I mean by catch pots is you don't necessarily have to repot the plant. In the planter, you could just use the grower's pot and just stick it into the planter. You can see this one is also one for $5.94 with a little plant stand. And as you can see right here, most of these are actually white planters. If you were to ask me what planter colors I like, I love white, I love neon, pink plants, matte finishes, creams, those types of color palettes. You can see right here, $7.48. I actually have a lot of these Better Homes and Garden planters. This one has a nice shape to it, and it's just a good pot look in general. In terms of planters, I would tell you, plant foldies, it does make a difference in terms of how your plant is displayed. I do believe that the planter a plant is put into kind of dictates the story of the plant or just how it is displayed. Again, I'm very meticulous about some of the planters that I put my planters in. If you ask me, I like to have my planters have the same type of look. I like to try to keep the same color palette. I try not to get too many textures or colors. And I don't really have a lot of shiny glazes like this. You can see over here, we do have some more of those neutral colors. And then you can see this one is a more shallow planter. I do like the shape of it. I'm not as big of a fan of the texture, but I could work with it. With these types of planters, I would put something that's more crawling, like a crawling philodendron, like maybe a philodendron gloriosum, something that will actually crawl across the substrate. And as far as this one right here, again, these are not expensive planters when you look at the geometric shapes. I love geometric shape planters. And so we're just going to keep picking up a couple of these planters right here. Plant foldies, let me know in the comment section what you think about these planters, what plants you would actually put in these planters. Really would love to know your insights. You already know I love, when I say I love interactions with you guys. So leave that in the comment section. section and just let me know what planters you would buy from Walmart. You can see this one right over here. This is a gray resin planter. These look really good with some of those Costa Farms Exotic Angel planters that are typically $5.98. And these work perfectly for those types of plants. And you can see this one is a 6-inch planter right here. But anyways, leave it in the comment section. I'm just going to go ahead and pick up some more planters and show you what they have available at Walmart. Can see plant foldies, we have many different types of colors. We actually have the black charcoal ones, and then we also have these glazed ones. Look at this green one with the leaves kind of etched in there. Love that as well. I would put a Monstera deliciosa in this particular planter. And you can see we've got some hues of blue and green. Look at this green right over here, a light pale green. It almost looks like jade. Nice looking planter. And, you know, with the shallow ones, I would suggest just putting a succulent type of arrangement or something that's tall as well to give it like a bonsai type look. And then this is actually one of my favorite shapes. And you can see right here, it does have a drainage hole, but I would actually utilize this as another planter that I could use for semi-hydro. This one I believe is for 5-inch planters. Love that as well. And again, it's a nice color. We'll take a look at the rest of the other planters that they have here, but you'll notice that there is a wide range of Better Home and Gardens mainstay planters here. You can see this one has got the checkered look. This one is by Mainstays, and this one is the more cost-effective brand of Walmart. So if you're looking for a variety of planters, I would definitely recommend Walmart. They really have upped their game when it comes to the planters that they have over the years, and they continue to just elevate the look of their planters. Like this one right here is a beautiful glazed planter by Better their homes and gardens. This one is only for $7.48. So amazing deals, amazing prices. You're definitely going to save some money if you're going to go shopping at Walmart. Would recommend it. And as far as these planters right here, the light ones, I would recommend putting plants with darker foliage. So maybe something like a Raven ZZ or even like a Calathea Dotty. That's if you're wanting to actually grow Calatheas. And now we have more of the warmer hues here. We've got the orange or red orange look, and this is really cool because it has a accent of the wood as well. And then over here we have a green planter over here. So really nice look for that. I like it, and this is one that also has a pink version that they just are sold out of, but I would eventually want to get that. And you can see right here we have a blue one with some more texture. So I'm really not a fan of the textures, but you know, to each their own. You can actually find more planters here. This one actually is an orange one. It kind of gives that like terracotta vibe, but I'll pan away here and just keep showing you some more of the ones that they have available at this Walmart. The warmer hues of color. We also have some pinks. This is one of my favorite planters that Walmart offers. It's the pink bubble planter right here. This would be perfect for a pink Aglaonema, maybe an Aglaonema pink Siam or something of that nature. Just any Aglaonemas in general. You already know Plant Foldies. If it's a Grow Fold shopping video, I will be pushing for that Aglaonema awareness. So we'll keep looking at some more of the planters that they have available here. The next one would be all of the terracotta planters. So these for sure I will be buying at some point this this season, just because I do have some Sansevieria, some rare Sansevieria that I should be getting at the end of the week from Succulents Asia. So they're similar to Green Spaces ID. They offered to do a collaboration with me, and so they had me choose some rare Sansevieria, some that are super expensive actually, and I'm so thankful that they are actually sending those Sansevieria to me for free. So super excited about that. But I will be getting some of these terracotta planters. Look at how modern this terracotta planter is. I will be buying several of these, and I even love the saucers that they will be paired up with. Very modern looking planter. And so as far as terracotta planters, the great thing about terracotta planters, especially if you are one person who waters your plants a little bit more frequently, these planters will actually remove the moisture a lot faster off of the soil. So if you're a heavy waterer, I would recommend putting your plants in terracotta planter. Terracotta planters don't hold nearly as much moisture, so the soil substrate will actually dry out a lot faster than, say, a plastic catch pot or a plastic growers planter. So definitely consider getting the terracottas. Terracottas also have a very classic and elegant vibe about them. There are some plant collections I've seen where literally they only use terracotta planters. So Walmart has these available. They have different shapes, but these shapes are very much so a modern vibe. I mean, you can see right there, that is only for $7.47. And then we also have these saucers here, which I think is really nice because they're very chunky looking, very much so that modern contemporary look if you're looking for that aesthetic as well. So I'll just keep looking and showing you these planters that they have over here. Let me know in the comment section again what you think. Also have lots of different types of plant accessories right over here. So we've got watering cans, we've got let's see what else they have. Watering cans, spray bottles. This is a really nice 14-piece indoor garden kit. I'd recommend this as well if you're going to just start a plant collection. And then I highly recommend getting an indoor gardening mat. So if you need to do some repotting, you can do that in the comfort of your home. I have a yellow one, and thank you to Mel G, one of my plant foldies, that said they love the color of my potting mat, indoor potting mat. It's yellow. I say yellow is the color of joy. Definitely will bring some joy to people. And then you'll see here, I'm going to just look around and show you some of the other plant accessories they have. So they have lots of plant stands and plant accessories, and that's another thing that Walmart has really stepped their game on in terms of just the value of their plant pricing for accessories. Highly recommend shopping here because you will get some really good prices as well. End up indulging in this one for $16.48. You get a plant stand, a 3-piece plant stand. That's a really good price because I know that at IKEA they have it for like $29, but I'm all about trying to budget my money, and this is actually a really nice plant stand as well. I think it's for like $34. You get these wooden plant stands. Here's the thing about plant styling, and that's something I will be delving into plant foldies as I start to showcase some of my personal houseplant collection. I know I've been talking to you guys. Some people really do call me the biggest tease when it comes to my personal plant collection, but once I do my houseplant tour, and I hope you guys are not disappointed with the plants you see, I will be talking more in depth with my plant styling. There is a lot of inspiration that comes around it, but let's go see what plants they have available at this Walmart. So this Walmart is usually stocked with a lot of plants, but we'll see what plants they have available. Either way, whenever I go shopping for plants at a big box store like Walmart, you never know what plants you might run into. Sometimes it could be sparse, sometimes it could fully be stocked, and you can see right here there isn't quite a bit of plants from just the first impressions, but that doesn't really matter for me because then it gives me a little bit more time to take on top of like the plants that I'm going to talk about today. So we'll take a look at the plants they have available. We do have a bunch of these plants here, and just a little update as well. So obviously Cultivation Corner season 2 is premiering, but we're already preparing for season 3, and I have to say that I was able to get in touch with David Morales, the Plant Fever. If you've ever watched his YouTube channel, he is amazing. A lot of my big box store plant shopping inspiration really did stem from David Morales of the Plant Fever. You don't need me to promote him, but if you haven't watched his content, definitely check that out. But I'm going to go ahead and just say that he will be one of the guests for season 3, and I'm super excited about that. We got to chat on Instagram call, and I really was thankful that he had some time to really just let me know how he is as a person, and I'm very excited for us to do a plant podcast. So leave in the comment section if you are a fan of David Morales, the Plant Fever. I am a huge fan in the sense that he is very authentic in his presentation about his plants, his big box store plant shopping. And I think when it comes down to being a content creator, I think that you always have to be your most authentic self. And so just him being really open and candid and really making me feel comfortable to have conversations about plants. Really looking forward to having that plant podcast with David Morales of the Plant Fever. Plant Foldies, please make sure you do go to his channel, give him some Plant Foldies support, let him know that you're excited to see him on the plant podcast. And as far as just a plant podcast in general, it's just gotten a lot of traction, even though we haven't premiered season 2. Hoping that everybody that watches the Grow Folds YouTube channel, you guys will really tune in for the season premiere. It is with PETA of PETA's Planters, and I actually did film some content with PETA just to let you guys know. I know that a lot of y'all are interested in buying some of the products at PETA's Planters, which is a small business in the Dallas area. She is now shipping her personal planters that she makes. Definitely check that out. But anyways, to go back to the plants, you already know Plant Foldies. I tend to just talk about plants, life updates, things of that nature. You will see that we have Epipremnum aureum or golden pothos. This is in a 6-inch planter, $10.97. And as always, I always talk about how these plants are the plants you need to add into your plant collection. And the reason why you want to add pothos plants into your plant collection is, number one, they are inexpensive. Number 2, they are readily available at a big box store or a local nursery. And number 3, they're easy care plants. You know, as far as the lighting conditions, they can tolerate lower light conditions. They can tolerate some drought, but I wouldn't recommend letting them stay dry for too long. Pothos plants will start to get droopy leaves. And when they get to that, that's almost like 911, please water me. I push the envelope when it comes to pothos plants, and to the point where some of them did get a little bit leggy. Dieffenbachia, $9.97. This is another garden expert. It's Walmart's branding for indoor tropical plants. Dieffenbachia, they're beautiful. I want to be able to grow Dieffenbachia. Unfortunately, Dieffenbachia, at least in a soil substrate, makes it a little bit more challenging to grow because I just am not on top of the watering. And over here, another self-watering planter, Calathea ornata, $15.97 by Costa Farms. It does have those environmental benefits. You can see that they have some meticulous work when it comes to being more environmentally sound with their products. And that's the thing I love about Costa Farms. You know, some people have opinions about Costa Farms, and what I would tell you is with Costa Farms, we should be thankful in a sense that they have made a lot of these hard to find plants more readily available. There is this debate about big box store plant shopping versus local nurseries and small businesses. I would tell you, I definitely will always shop small businesses. I will always support small businesses. But when it comes to plant shopping as well, if you can find it at a big box store, there's no reason why we wouldn't want to consume some of these plants. I mean, this one's for $9.97. For instance, this Dracaena Dorado, love the Dracaena Dorado. And that's the thing about Dracaena Dorado. It is one of those common plants. Most people will associate them as like office plants. But you can add these into your personal plant collection. And I love Dracaenas because they are low light tolerant and drought tolerant, or at least can be a little bit on the drier side. So for those that are super busy like me, you have to have plants that are a little bit more forgiving. And all of the plants, at least on this table so far, minus the Calathea ornata, are easy care plants. And I'm just going to continue to show you pothos plants. Can we please get a thumbs up for the golden pothos plant? If you don't like my plant content, at least give some support with a thumbs up in the comments section for the golden pothos. Love it as well. And then you can see right here, $10.97. I could honestly splurge and buy these pothos plants. And if you're looking to save money, if you are watching your finances, if you're looking to budget your plants, know that if you go to Walmart and you go shopping at a big box store like Walmart, you will get some cost-effective pricing for plants. And then over here again, we have another Calathea ornata. I love the Calathea ornata because it has those pink stripes. It doesn't even look like a real plant. And I always say Mother Nature has a way of really creating art. This is natural art. And you can see here, love that self-watering planter. Again, pink planters. Thank you, Costa Farms, for having amazing planters. I hope that they will also do more of a minimalistic container where it's just a solid shape. I think that would be really nice. And then my favorite, Aglaonema, to just show, this is an Aglaonema red Siam. Everybody needs to add an Aglaonema. $15.97. So if you're watching my video, if you're discovering my YouTube channel for the first time, highly recommend, if you're going to call yourself a plant foldie, if you are a Grow Folds follower, to go ahead and buy yourself an Aglaonema red Siam. That is the you know how they have a national plant for a country? This is probably the national plant for my Grow Folds channel. So please be sure to get yourself an Aglaonema red Siam. Super easy to take care of. I love it, love it, love it. And it's another plant that I would just recommend because it is a low light tolerant plant, easy to care for plant. And I also love the fact that it's cost effective. Look at all of the plants you get in a single 6-inch planter. With Aglaonema red Siam, I love the pink stems. I love everything about this plant, and I really want to have this like social experiment, social media experiment. So I was talking to my co-host Janae Simone, and we talked about how plants become trending. So we are under the campaign of trying to get Aglaonemas a little bit more mainstream, getting people excited about it. So if you have an Aglaonema and you have social media, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, let's go ahead and tag us at Grow Folds, Janae Simone, Stephen of I Live Plants, and Cultivation Corner. Let's go ahead and get that going. Let's use the hashtag Aglaonema Lover. hashtag plantfoldies, because I want to see how many people are actually going to push Aglaonemas to be more readily available, more excitement about it. In our plant podcast, The Cultivation Corner, season 3 is going to feature my Aglaonema collection. We will be talking about Aglaonemas, and I'm hoping plantfoldies that you're listening, but not only listening, but also supporting the channel by getting more people involved, by posting more on social media. Whenever something becomes trending, there is a common denominator, and that is through conversation, that is through social media posting. I always say this in all my videos, but it's all about the power of social media. And to me, I want to utilize this platform to get people more excited about plants that are easy care, more readily available, not super expensive. And so Aglaonemas, Sansevierias, Pothos plants, green plants, let's get excited about that. And that's the reason why I like to go shopping at big box stores. I mean, you can see right here, $15.97. We've got a Sansevieria superba. So these are Sansevieria trifasciatas. Love the pink container as well. And I am so excited. At the end of the week, Thursday, is when I will be getting my Green Spaces ID plant haul, as well as my Succulents Asia plant haul. I will be doing collab videos to show you my unboxing and how I will save money long term by getting some of those plants from overseas. Sago palm, easy to care for plant. Not so much, because I feel like it's one of those plants that really requires a lot of light. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick up this. Look at this, $15.97 plantfoldies, Aglaonema red Siam. And I know some of you guys are probably tired of the Aglaonema red Siam features, as well as some of my background music. So I actually read a comment in the comment section about how I need to change my background music for some of my plant shopping videos. Lo and behold, I do take feedback. I will look at trying to get some of those, changing up the music a little bit. We'll see in the next couple of days, but it is a little bit challenging to do that. But you know what? If it's not broken, I'm not going to fix it. And I'm going to always continue to either feature those tracks that I like on my YouTube channel, as well as just featuring the plants I tend to gravitate to. I think it's a little bit, easier for me to really sound passionate and talk about plants that I'm actually genuinely passionate about. The thing about social media and even just plant content creation, I'm never going to go talk about a plant that either one, I don't have experience unless I, outwardly say, hey, I am not really sure about this plant. And then number two, plants that I personally grow or plants that I really do believe in having in people's collections. Like even here, this Dieffenbachia maculata, for instance, $19.97. It's in a 10-inch planter. I love the colors of this plant, and I'm going to take this down here, plantfoldies, and show you why it's a beautiful plant. Look at how light the coloration is. The problem with this plant is it just needs a lot of light, and a lot of our indoor spaces may not have a lot of light. So if you're going to grow this, either grow it in a south facing window, a west facing window, or better yet, grow it under a grow light and increase the humidity if possible. If you're not able to increase the humidity, now Dieffenbachias are a little bit more susceptible to spider mites and pests. You want to make sure that you're using pest preventative spraying. I like to go the more organic route, so I use a neem oil spray. And if there is a plant product, and We the Wild Protect Neem Oil Spray is my go-to unless I do my DIY neem oil spray. I am not sponsored by We the Wild, but what I will tell you is I have been using their products for years, and they do really work. I hope some people will go ahead and go to like Target. I know Target, as far as a big box store, go shopping at Target for We the Wild neem oil spray. They even have the kits there only for $24.99. And then I'm going to pull up this one right here. So you saw the Dracaena Dorado earlier for $9.97. This one is how large it could potentially get, and it can get even larger as it grows. You can see, look at that green on green coloration here. I think whenever we stop and really look at some of the plants, we want to just make sure that we practice mindfulness in a sense that we're taking the time to really just admire the foliage, the greenery, and just really soaking in the goodness of Mother Nature. And for me, whenever I am going shopping and just, taking you alongside with me as I go plant shopping at a big box store, I just want you to also admire just the sheer beauty of some of that green foliage, like this peace lily right here, or Spathiphyllum. Notice how it gets really large leaves, and then even this Monstera deliciosa. been really getting into my Monstera deliciosa, and when you actually take the time to manicure and actually take care of your plants by spraying them with neem oil, getting their leaves to be shiny, it's very satisfying, it's very rewarding. It's very much so why we do plant chores, right? It's to actually get that relaxation. You know, the word chores actually can be more of relaxing, you know, reframe it to being more of a relaxing task versus a chore, because a chore means it's you have to do it versus it's just part of your daily routine. And that's how I've been able to kind of refrain how I look at plant chores. I just look at it as a relaxing task that involve plants. So let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, if you agree about just reframing certain words to fit your mental state. For me, whenever you hear the word chores, it can be overwhelming. It can cause plant burnout. I don't want to burn you guys out with, you know, excessive content as well, but it seems like you guys are always tuning in to the live premiere chats, and I appreciate that. That is amazing that, you know, I'll see 60 plus people watching these videos live, and it really does help grow the channel. Over here is the Philodendron Narrow Escape. This is another one, plants with benefits. This is actually sourced out from Costa Farms. Love the serrated leaves, and you can see that it's just a green philodendron. This is another plant that would be easy to care for. So plant foldies, if you want an easy to care for plant, this philodendron is easy. Bright indirect light if possible, water when the soil is dry, and that is basically it. If you can provide it with a little bit more humidity, it will also do well, but even then it's not as finicky as far as other philodendron. And this one is a Ficus lyrata right here, or fiddle fig leaf tree. Love it as well. That is another plant that can get fairly large. It's a legitimate tree actually. And then we see right here a majesty palm. So majesty palms, or palms in general, for me, I don't really grow them in my plant collection because number one, they take up too much surface space. Number two, the lighting requirements are high. And number three, they're just a little bit more susceptible to mealybugs and spider mites. And I'm really trying to have a stress-free plant collection. So that's just a plant I'm not going to add into my collection. If I had higher ceilings in my home, I may consider it, but that's just one plant I kind of steer away from. Over here, we do have some more bromeliads. So bromeliads, did you know that the pineapple is actually part of the bromeliad family? And you can see right over here, these are by Growers Bench. And these are pineapple bromeliads. Super cute that they have a miniature pineapple here. Bromeliads, like I said in all of my videos, there is a huge diversity when it comes to bromeliads. I don't necessarily recommend this one for my plant collection. It's super cute. It's a little bit quirky. And so plant foldies, I don't know if you guys actually have pineapple bromeliads. If you do, what is it that you like about the plant? Leave that in the comment section. And then obviously we've got this, I'm going to do a little bit of a close up here. These ones are for, I think, $14.97, pineapple bromeliad, and it says it's simple care. Let's take a look at the price. Yep, $14.97. I even like the geometric shape of the planter. Really nice, and that's super cute that they've got a miniature bromeliad right over here. So I'm just going to keep walking around and picking up some plants. Let me know in the comment section what plants you like at this Walmart as we go shopping. plant foldies, you can see that I'm picking up this philodendron here. This is a philodendron campii, and I really need to go ahead and break down and buy a philodendron campii. This one is for $19.97 by Growers Bench. What I love about this philodendron is, if you notice, number one, it is not variegated. Number two, it is just a green plant, but it's got a beautiful texture. It's got a very narrow leaf shape, and this is just another philodendron that is uncommon, but you know what? It is a green one, and so that's kind of our campaign, or at least my personal campaign, about just putting more spotlight on plants that are not variegated, plants that might be overlooked. I do feel like the philodendron campii is another plant that is a philodendron that might be overlooked, but look at the texture of the leaves, and it's got a nice planter pot as well for $19.97. Let me know in the comment section if you like a philodendron campii, and then I'm just going to show you all the other Grower Bench plants. We've got a philodendron silver sword. Love that metallic shine as well. And it looks like, you know, Walmarts are getting more of these fancy philodendron. I'm hoping that springtime really does bring out even more plants that are going to be more readily available. It is interesting that we have all of these plants readily available already, and I'm hoping we can see even more. Like, I want a philodendron silver sword, but I don't know if I really want to spend $19.97 on it. If I am going to spend my money, it is going to be on Aglaonemas. If you are watching my video and you don't have an Aglaonema, I will say it again. I will say it 10 million times in future videos, or even throughout this video, get yourself an Aglaonema. And if I do find an Aglaonema that is worthy of adding to my plant collection, well, honestly, Aglaonemas are always going to be worthy of adding to my plant collection. I don't even have mind having multiples of them. I will add it to my plant collection. But you can see right here, plant foldies, beautiful philodendron silver sword. That one is going to need a totem pole or moss pole. And then we do have some sad looking Alocasia alzanii. Unfortunately, those are close to making it to plant heaven. And then we also have some more Ficus ginseng bonsais right over here. So I'm going to pick these up and show you what they have available at this Walmart. Right here, plant foldies, we've got a philodendron pink princess by Growers Bench, $19.97. But the thing about it is, sometimes you can find these actually marked down to as low as $10. So it just really depends on whether they want to clearance this out. I would say though, this one doesn't have high variegation, but if you like dark foliage plants, I would still recommend buying the Growers Bench pink princess. Here's the thing again about philodendron pink princess, the variegation is really dependent on the plant's initial genetics. So if it's not really variegated with a lot of pink variegation, it's not going to have that high potential of pushing out a lot of pink. I don't mind it though, because I do like dark foliage plants. And then you can see right here, these are the blooming anthuriums that are being shown at a big box store like Walmart. So if you're going shopping at Walmart and you want a blooming anthurium, even though it's not one of those velvety anthuriums that are really trending, you know, all of those dock block anthuriums or different types of velvety textured anthuriums, anthurium hybrids. I do think that even though this is a common plant, it's an easy to care for plant. And if you want that pop of color, you can get these blooming anthuriums. I do like the red, but I also like the pink. My dream blooming anthurium has to be the anthurium shibori. It is a variegated pink on pink variegated one, and that's another one as far as like plants. It is more of a want versus a need because of the price. It's like $150 on eBay, and I am trying to be more financially responsible when it comes to plants. I legit have a plant addiction, and I have to ask anybody that's watching my YouTube videos, if you have a plant addiction, what are you doing to mitigate the addiction? How are you not spending money? I would really love to know in the comment section, because I have been a little bit more lavishly spending money. It's still within my budget. All of my bills are paid, my mortgage is paid, but it is tax season, and I need to make sure that I have enough money to pay my taxes as a responsible American and as a content creator. I am super thankful that you guys have given me a platform where I can make some passive income, because that passive income actually gets invested into my love for plants. I recently gifted my grandmother some more Aglaonema. She loves Aglaonema, and I know you guys have been wanting to see my Lola Belen on the channel. Have no fear. We are planning on getting her on the YouTube channel. We're even trying to get her as a plant podcast. For somebody that I'm going to speak into existence, that will be the probably the most mature guest on Cultivation Quarter. She is turning 90 this February, and so I'm super excited about that. But when me, Janae, Simone, and Steven go to PlantCon in Houston, we definitely want to get her in a plant podcast. I do want to get my grandmother to go out to the PlantCon, because I think that plant shows should be available and just be readily available for anybody, any age. And the fact that my grandmother, again, is of sound mind and body, I'm just really thankful that 2025 has been already kind to her this year, and I continue to pray that she will continue to have that amazing health, because that's really important. Whenever we're looking at plants like this philodendron pink princess, for instance, plants do really attribute to really good mental health as well as physical health. And she also recommends anybody that is watching my YouTube channel to grow plants, because clearly she has existed for close to 9 decades. She's only 10 years away from being a century old, and I pray and hope that she does reach 100 years old. The fact that she is going to be 90 years old is amazing, and she can still walk. She is of sound mind, and she is very much so into plants, and she does attribute a lot of her health, her good health, to just growing plants. So for me, I want to follow her footsteps as much as I like to go do plant shopping videos and show you all of these plants. She does attribute to a lot of her good health to just, admiring plants, growing plants, and all of the goodness that plants can give. And as you can see right here, this Walmart, while it doesn't have a lot of the plant restocks, we're not seeing a lot of these trending tropicals. I can appreciate the fact that they still have quite a bit of plants for us to look at. So I'm going to just keep walking around and showing you what plants they have available. Plant foldies, again, leave it in the comment section. And if you made it this far into the video, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button. It definitely pushes this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. $9.97 for this Dracaena right here. Gorgeous plant. You need to add it to your collection if you don't have it already, because it's an easy to care for plant. love all of the anthuriums we have available. The pink ones right here are super cute, and these ones are for $14.97. So if you want a cost-effective plant, a plant that's easy to care for, one that's going to save you money in terms of your budget, definitely take a look at this one right here. This is another one that I would say is a huge plant that you would add to your plant collection. And then a bunch of these Phalaenopsis orchids as well. Love the Phalaenopsis orchids. You can see these ones are cost effective as well. So if you're looking for plants that are going to be cheaper to buy in terms of your shopping, go to Walmart, do your shopping at Walmart. This one is for $7.97. These are the teacup size, but you'll notice that this one has a little bit of root rot. You'd want to keep your Phalaenopsis orchids to be more so on the drier side. You'll know when to water them when their roots are more of a grayish tone. When you water them, the Phalaenopsis orchids or orchid roots in general will become more of a greener tone. That's when you know that they're still pretty hydrated. So I'm just going to keep walking around and showing you these gorgeous orchids right here. The clearance section or the rescue me plant. So this one right here is a Raven ZZ plant. This one is for $10, and if I'm gonna pick up a clearance plant, this would be the one because it's not really suffering in its health. It's a little bit smaller, but it's still a salvageable plant. This one's in a self-watering planter by Costa Farms, so you're gonna save $9.84, and we love our savings. We love to save money. Even if we are shopping, we should still be financially responsible. So that is a good plant right here. Now this one is a Monstera Thai constellation. This one is also for $10. I remember seeing this Monstera Thai constellation. You would save $19 if you buy this plant today. It is a sad looking plant. It doesn't really have high variegation. I remember doing a plant shopping video where I saw that, and I just thought that, you know, it was still pretty high, but I'm hoping that maybe somebody might want to rescue this Monstera Thai constellation before it will make it to plant heaven. And you can see right here, this one is another type of fern for $10 in a hanging basket. So you'll save $5.97 right here. I'm just going to continue to walk around and show you what clearance plants they have. Feel free to leave in the comment section which plants you might potentially buy or try to rescue, like this one right here. I mean, this is a pretty sad. This one's not a sad looking one. This Tradescanthia right here is not a bad looking one. And this one is for $10. So if you wanted a dark foliage plant, this one is not a bad price at all. I would recommend buying this. I mean, it's not a bad hanging basket as well. But when it comes to like finding plants that are on sale or on clearance, the only caution I would say as far as this is that they are going to have plant pests. They are more susceptible to plant pests because they're not in the best health. So with caution, you want to make sure that you are spraying them down with neem oil spray. This one is for $10. This is an Aglaonema red Siam, and it's just looking very, very sad. Unfortunately, I wouldn't necessarily purchase that plant just because I could get it for a better price. And then this one right here is a Begonia maculata for $10. And so for me, I kind of wish that Walmart or whoever the vendors are would have marked these plants further down. Maybe they would have a chance of living, but I just really am afraid that a lot of these plants are going to make it to plant heaven. If you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you want some value plants, you can save these, rescue these plants. They're screaming to be saved, but unfortunately for me, none of them are really going to go home with me today. Maybe this Hoya for $10, because this Hoya, it still looks pretty good. There's not a lot of damage to it, and for $10 in a hanging basket by Costa Farms, that's not a bad price at all. Again, plant foldies, let me know in the comment section if you actually find clearance plants, what you do with them. My recommendation, if you're going to do a rescue plant or a clearance plant, is assume it has plant pests, because it probably does. Make sure that you change the soil out. They probably need to go ahead and get repotted. Make sure that you are watering them with a nutrient solution such as Super Thrive. It has that B vitamin that's really going to help get the plant recovered. I would recommend buying Fox Farm Boomerang. It's a really good fertilizer that helps bounce back the plants. I mean, you can see right here, really sad looking Paraíso Verde for $10. And so for me, if you want to rescue this plant, I would definitely get rid of a lot of the dead leaves and cut it back. You can even repropagate it if you want. You would only save $9.97. So I don't know if you really want to do a plant project where you're going to be rescuing. And then finally, I'm going to go ahead and show you what trending tropical plants they have at this big box store and see what you think. This is an Alocasia Silver Dragon for $19.84 by Costa Farms.
You don't want my heart, you don't want my love, you just want me crying over you. You don't want my heart, you don't want my...
You can see right here, we've got an Epipremnum aureum neon pothos here. Now this one is for $15.97, and that is a really good plant price considering this neon pothos. Typically whenever you go to like Lowe's or Home Depot for at least the 6-inch planters, these are for $16.98, but Walmart has them for $1 cheaper. So if you're looking to save money, even if it's just going to be an extra $1, I would recommend buying the Costa Farms 6-inch hanging basket planters here. And then over here we have a philodendron hederaceum, just a green form. This is the heartleaf philodendron. This is another one that I would recommend buying as well if you're looking for an easy care for plant, a plant that's going to bring you joy because of the easy care and as well as just the plant pricing as well. I do think that this is another one that is cost effective, and it's only for $15.98. And so we're just going to keep looking at some of the other plants here. We've got a Peperomia obtusifolia for $5.77. This one is another Costa Farms exotic angel plant right here. Love that as well, even though it's just a green plant. But if you notice how it's just got a really nice deep green tone about it, really nice looking one. And then we have a variegated teardrop Peperomia. This one is another one that I have had my eyes on for a while, but I just feel like if I'm going to get one, I would want one that's a little bit more established, maybe a hanging basket of it. But neon pothos, $15.98 again for this hanging basket. And this is another plant that if you don't have it in your plant collection, would highly recommend it. You know, any pothos plants or Epipremnum aureum are really good, but when you think about the neon pothos, and I am on record to say that this is my favorite pothos plant, you can see that it kind of sticks out. It actually is one that really does make a good statement, even when you put it right next to the golden pothos. Golden pothos is another plant that I like, but neon pothos is definitely a stunner. It is another one that even though it has that neon color, it's still a pretty vigorous grower, and that's one that I would recommend. And you can see right over here, we've got a golden pothos in a hanging basket. Now this one is for $19.84. And here is a plant find. This is a Grindula pothos. So it's basically a reverted Mandula pothos. Although I would say this particular Grindula pothos, it looks more like a jade pothos. With Mandula pothos, they tend to have rounder, heart-shaped leaves. This one right here is not so much rounder or heart-shaped leaves. This one is for $19.84. It's not a bad looking one, but it's another one, what I would just say is not nearly as Mandula looking, if that makes any sense. This is for $19.84. I do have a Grindula pothos that I found at another Walmart. I do appreciate the greenery on it, and again with pothos plants, they're so easy to care for. So again, plant foldies, if you don't have a pothos plant, get you an Epipremnum aureum. And then I'm always curious, for those that are new to the channel, please leave in the comment section if you call pothos pothos or Pothos or Epipremnum aureum. I like Epipremnum aureum. So this one right here is a Philodendron White Knight, and thank you to my Plantfoldy viewer subscriber Gaz for just a clarification. So this one is a Philodendron White Knight. Really like the look of it. It's got that burgundy texture with the white. This is one of those plants though that you need to grow up a totem pole or moss pole, so definitely make sure you stay on top of that in terms of giving it the support. And then this one is a Philodendron White Wizard, I believe. Let's see if I actually got it right. Let me know in the comment section if I did. But either way, these are Costa Farms trending tropical plants for $19.84 in a self-watering planter. So I'm just going to keep picking up some more trending tropical self-watering planters. Global green pothos right here, nice looking global green. This is a green on green variegated plant, and this is a Japanese pothos. It looks like a lot of Japanese pothos are starting to make it into the market. Thanks to Costa Farm, we have the Champs Ulysses that's going to make it, and then Neon and Joy pothos. But this one is an Aglaonema golden fluorite, and look at the size of the leaves. This is a really nice and full Aglaonema. So this is a prime candidate of a plant that I might need today. This looks like a today plant. I mean, plant folies, let me know what you think in the comment section. Look at how gorgeous this is, and I even like that deep green tone it has. It is a beautiful one. It's got several plants in for $19.84. This one I would actually repot in a larger pot, maybe a 7-inch self-watering planter. I'm going to definitely put this in hydroponics if I end up buying it. But let's take a look at the other golden fluorites, or also known as the golden papaya, Aglaonemas. What do you think of in the comment section? But this one is a really nice size, and there were 4 of them, so I may ask your opinion, plant foldies. Would you buy this one? Because this is a giant, at least compared to a lot of the other Aglaonema golden fluorites I've seen from Costa Farms. But that is a really good size right there. Really glad that I was able to find it, and we're gonna just keep picking up the other ones. Like here is another one right here. This one also has large leaves, so we're gonna pick this up, and you can just compare and contrast and let me know what you think. This one also has lots of plants within one, so that's gonna make it a tough decision, but I'm definitely going to buy one today for $19.84. This is a need, definitely a need. Aglaonemas are always a need, and that's the problem, is just Aglaonemas in general. And you know, as far as rare Aglaonemas, if you are ever going to visit the Dallas area, go to Peta's Planters. That is my favorite plant shop in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You can get rare Aglaonemas because she's constantly getting those. But as far as these, golden fluorite by Costa Farms, thank you. Costa Farms, please keep sending us more Aglaonemas. I love them. Plant foldies, you love them too. And if you don't love them, I'm gonna have you learn to love Aglaonemas, because they are the it plant. They need to be the trending plant of 2025. You can see I found another one here. This one isn't as big, but if you look at how many plants are in this one as well, that's actually a pretty good candidate. Now, as far as there's more green on it, which is okay for me as well, because it kind of gives it a little bit of diversity. Beautiful plant, love it. Aglaonema golden fluorite for $19.84. Picking up and looking at these plants. So whenever I'm actually shopping for plants, house plants at a big box store, I like to examine how many plants are in the pot, how big the leaves are, I also look for plant pests, potential pests. If you see webbing on the leaves, that might be spider mites. If you see little cotton ball things on the plant, that could be mealy bugs. You really want to just take a look at all of that. So if this one had any signs of like pests, for instance, this plant wouldn't go home with me, because it's just harder to get rid of pests that are already on a plant versus getting a plant that's healthy. But you can see these 3 that I've pulled up so far are good candidates. This is probably the one I'm going to take. Let me know in the comment section if you think number 2 would go home with me, or is this number 3, which one you would pick. Honestly, if I had the budget, I would definitely buy all 3. And you know, that also goes to my point. For anybody who wants to support the YouTube channel by dropping a super sticker or a super thanks, that is a monetary tip that you can give a content creator. Clearly, you are not obligated to do so, because I want to keep a lot of my plant content definitely free, because that's part of just making content for the public. But if you do want to go ahead and drop me a super sticker or super thanks, I would really appreciate it. And for those that have done that in the past, I really appreciate that as well, because it has helped fund some of my plant shopping videos. If anything, it pays for my gas, because I am traveling all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So to get a super sticker, you just look at the bottom right hand corner. It'll have the $sign. And if you are on the live premiere chats, I do what you call super sticker goals, where if we accomplish the goal, I will be able to make a special video because of the goal being accomplished. So just putting that out there. As far as, you know, how I communicate with the plant foldies, I'm very transparent. I don't like to beat around the bush. If I need some support with something, I'll let you guys know. And you guys have always been so engaging and so supporting with my content that I couldn't ask for more. But as you can see here, what I can ask for more on is the fact that this Walmart really needs more plants. I'm hoping that maybe in the next week or 2 we'll get more of plants available. These are all the trending tropical plants, the ones we see often. We've seen the global green, we've seen the Monstera Peru, and then we also have a begonia maculata. Love that angel wing begonia. I'm not an expert. My grandmother is far more of an expert when it grows to begonias. They just don't do as well for me, but that is another plant that is absolutely stunning. And as I pan around here, while they only have like 2 shelves of that, I am just gonna go walk around here and show you any other plants that they have. So it looks like they've at least merchandised these plants. And that's the thing about going shopping. When everything is organized, everything is merchandised in a way where you want to buy it, it's just more inviting. And we did find a last minute Monstera Thai constellation. So Monstera Thai constellations, if you're shopping for a Monstera Thai constellations, if you're looking for a big box store that has Monstera Thai constellations, Walmart has Monstera Thai constellations. How many more times can I say Monstera Thai constellations? I think somebody counted that I said Monstera Thai constellation like 29 times. Okay, I'll stop. Anyways, this is for $29.97. And whenever it comes to these variegated type plants, this is always going to be something that will attract people. If you notice here, however, these ones need to be rescued. These are still pretty viable, but I've seen some of the other Walmarts that carry these plants, and they've suffered quite a bit of damage, which is unfortunate because, you know, Monstera Thai constellations, they are beautiful plants. And even though they are readily available at a big box store like Walmart, I just hope that there's enough interest to where people can consume these plants and make sure that you actually put them in your plant collections versus making it to plant heaven. Like this is an example of one that is not doing as well. And that's because it's either suffered from just physical damage. It's really sad. They really need to just mark this one down. So maybe somebody might want to rescue them. But I just hate to see plants go to waste. I know that that is part of the process. A lot of these plants may end up just going to plant heaven. But to me, the amount of effort that it's placed to grow these plants, you got to think of the watering, the soil, the energy that people put in, and then for it to just go to waste because somebody didn't buy it or they've been mistreated. It's really a sad but reality of just plants in general, the plant business. So I hope that through my social media platform of just YouTube, that maybe people will go out there and buy these plants. I just wish that if there are plants that are a little bit damaged, that maybe some of these businesses could mark them down a little bit further. And I would think that people would be a little bit more in tune to purchasing the plants. I get it. Everybody wants to save their money. Everybody wants to make sure that stay within budget. I probably need to listen to my advice because I have been spending quite a bit of money, but you know, whenever you think about an addiction, you can either have an addiction where you're addicted to alcohol. That's not always a healthy thing. But, you know, with plants, at least there's some mental and health benefits of just collecting plants. Again, plants can also give you the negative side effects of feeling overwhelmed because you've inundated yourself with plants, or you've spent too much money to where you're in debt with plants. So there is a positive and negative vibe with plants as well. And for me, it's all about just that moderation. I think anything in moderation is key. I tend to go overboard and go about it the other way. It's all or nothing for me. And that's something that I'm working on personally this year, this new year. And, you know, as you continue to go shop with me at big box stores, you'll follow my journey, and I'll just be a little bit more transparent about who I am as a person. I know that I am faceless, and some people find that not always the best, you know, look. But for me, I always have to have my own boundaries, and I do appreciate those that actually respect my decision to just be faceless on YouTube. Now, if you see me, and it's pretty obvious whenever you see me in public, you'll know I am Richie of Grow Folds because I've got my phone and I'm shopping and doing that. But anyways, please make sure you hit the like button. I ended up getting this Aglaonema, as well as subscribing to my YouTube channel at Grow Folds. I'll definitely come out with some new content for you tomorrow. For now, thank you so much for watching. This is Richie. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's off of Highway 121 in McKinney, Texas. As always, please make sure you press the like button, the thumbs up button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me directly. If you have any questions about the plant or just want to connect with me in general, I love that engagement. I love meeting up with the plant foldies. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie. I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. But before we get into that, I did want to announce that I am part of a plant podcast show called The Cultivation Corner. We are about to be on season 2, which will premiere on February 18th, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Definitely subscribe to the official Cultivation Corner YouTube channel. Search us. It's with Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plant. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, I am going late night plant shopping. It's been a while since I've gone late night plant shopping, and you can see right here, I am noticing that there are a bunch of Monstera type pillows in the outdoor patio garden sections for like Lowe's, Home Depot, and even Walmart. But you can see right here, it is super cold actually. I ended up going out here around 8 p.m. Central Standard Time when I went plant shopping at this particular Lowe's. You'll notice that there are a lot of racks in here, and it's because Dallas is actually experiencing quite a bit of a cold front right now. I know the other day it was about 19 degrees, and so it just wasn't the most favorable weather when it comes to like these indoor tropical plants. You'll see that they've actually brought some of these succulents and cactus here. I'm not a big fan about the cactus with the little googly eyes there, although at this year, you know, with the new year 2025, one thing I do want to get a little bit more in tune with is succulents and cactus. I've mentioned this in a lot of my plant shopping videos, and I cannot believe, plant foldies, I've been doing this for more than a year now, just doing plant shopping videos, and I just need to learn a little bit more about succulents and cactus. I'm a little bit more well versed in the indoor tropical plants and some of the outdoor landscaping plants. You can see right over here, we do have a bunch of cyclamens that could be right into a container. So I am really excited about seeing what this looks like in terms of just growing cyclamen long term. This is a plant that tends to come out, and we'll see what that looks like for you know, long-term growth, whether you're going to grow these indoors or outdoors. But as you can see, they have brought quite a bit of the plants indoors, and I did want to say thank you to all the plant foldies that have literally been going on to the live premiere chats every night this past week. I really enjoy the engagement. I'm seeing more and more plant foldies, new faces on the live chat. So if you are watching this video during a live premiere, which is typically at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, please make sure you are saying hello on the chats. It is a growing and fun fun and positive community. I'd love to engage with you guys on there. And if you are just watching this as a replay from the live premiere chats, welcome to the channel. I do encourage all of you guys that watch my plant shopping videos to leave many comments about the plants you're seeing in the videos, about your personal plants. If you have any questions for me, like I said again, part of the reason why I do a lot of these videos on a daily basis is I really do like to talk and engage with anybody that loves plants. But we will definitely keep talking about plants, and I'm going to show you some more of the plants. But you can see right here, late night plant shopping at a big boxer makes it quite easy for me because I don't have to worry so much about crowds. There's typically not as many people shopping, and if you already know, as far as me respecting people's privacy, whenever I am filming plants at a big box store, I try not to get anybody in the frames that I am filming because, number one, I do want to respect people's privacy. It is a public setting, but at the same time, not everybody wants to be on social media. You already know, for me, I am faceless on YouTube, and it's because I really want to separate my social media presence aside from my day-to-day, everyday, real life day-to-day routine. So for those that are looking for me, if you ever want to meet up with me, say at PlantCon, for instance, I will be going to PlantCon 2025 in Orlando, Florida, February 22nd. I cannot believe it's literally just 4 weeks away, and I am so excited to meet all of the plant foldies that are out in Orlando, Florida. Please definitely say hello. I will be wearing my Grow Folds official t-shirt, so I will be easily spotted if you're ever out at the PlantCon Orlando. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, I just picked up a Hydra Helix. And as you can see right here, beautiful variegation on the leaves here. And for those that don't know why I say Hydra Helix, it's because when I first started doing plant shopping videos, I was actually mispronouncing Hydra Helix, which is the correct way to say English ivy. And for some reason, that has become a plant foldy staple where some of you guys have actually counted the amount of times, specifically my plant foldy, one of my loyal plant foldies out in Canada, Kathy, how many times I say that in a live premiere chat. So that's really the inside joke for the English ivy. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, I'm just picking up a bunch of these Costa Farms exotic angel plants. Now these are for $5.98 in a 3-inch planter. And you can see right here, this is a Syngonium berry illusion. And Syngoniums, I will say that they are fast growers. They could be easy plant care, but the only thing that is a detriment to Syngoniums is if you let them dry out completely for a long period of time, I'd say about a week, that's when they start to yellow in the leaves, and then their health quickly, and I say quickly, declines. So you have to stay on top of the watering for a Syngonium, and same thing for this Snow White waffle plant. I love all of the colors of a Snow White waffle plant. And what's interesting is this was actually a sport variegation that was found by Costa Farms, and they were able to create this version of a waffle plant. Love it, but it's one of those plants that unless I grow it in semi-hydroponics, I don't think I'll be able to keep up with the watering it requires. And then this is right here is a gold dust croton. Love the yellow foliage. Crotons really remind me of my home country, which is the Philippines. Proud Filipino American here. Kamusta, kababayans? If you guys are Filipino, definitely leave that in the comments section. But crotons are very much a plant that you would see in the Philippines or in any Southeast Asian country. They grow outdoors as full-blown trees. And it's interesting, whenever you try to grow them as a household plant indoors, overseas, it's a little bit more challenging. Now, here is another Hydra Helix. And this is actually a new variety of Hydra Helix. I haven't seen this yet. And if you really look at the shape of the leaves, it's quite interesting. This is the Florida ivy. So I'm not sure if it's just an ivy that you can find in Florida or if it's something that was patented in Florida. I'm not 100% sure, but if you look closely at the leaves of this English ivy, it's quite interesting. I'm almost tempted to buy it, but as you already know, or if you don't know, I do love English ivies, but I have sent 14 yes, 14 to plant heaven. They're just a very challenging plant to grow, and I think it's because they really don't do well indoors. They're super susceptible to spider mites and even just the watering. So for me, English ivies, if you are to grow them outdoors, and I don't mean by putting them in your landscape, because I think somebody said that English ivy are very much invasive plants. Totally understand that. I wouldn't really recommend putting them in your landscape or your garden, but I would say just growing them outdoors in a container, they do much better than growing them indoors for some reason. And then over here we've got some lucky bamboo, or also known as Dracaena sandriana. And here's the thing about Dracaena sandriana: people will call them a bamboo, but it's really not a bamboo. It is a Dracaena. This is one that is believed to give you good luck and fortune. And with the Lunar New Year that's coming around, I'm seeing a lot of these Dracaena sandriana available at big box stores like Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, and even grocery stores as a lucky charm plant. So there are some of those plants that you would consider as like feng shui plants, like the Pachira aquatica and Dracaena sandriana. And you can see right here, plant foldies. I'm just going to walk around and show you some more racks of the plants. You can see that they brought quite a bit of plants in here. We've got some dendrobium orchids, and that's the thing about Lowe's, they will always have orchids. Orchids tend to be in season no matter what time of the year. And as far as like the season, I just can't believe that spring is not too far from now. And just the plants that we're seeing as we go shopping at a big box store, it's exciting because we're already seeing previews of the potential plants we'll see in the spring. So you already know, if you love daily plant shopping videos, especially if you live out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, please subscribe to my YouTube channel with the notification bell on. All notification bell on, so that way you can stay in touch with all of the current plant pricing that is happening in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. Specifically, I am based out in North Dallas, and I'm pretty much in a big box store, a local nursery, some place that sells plant on a daily basis. And yes, I do have a very demanding job, but at the same time, I still have these plant shopping videos as part of my daily routine. You can kind of say this is kind of a second job, but whenever you think of a job, sometimes not all of our jobs are as meaningful or as satisfying. I would just say being able to go walk around a big box store like this, it's super exciting. I can practice a lot of mindfulness. It's very much a Zen situation whenever I'm just literally walking around and filming plants. Now over here for $15.97 is a Dieffenbachia. This isn't a self-watering planter, and Dieffenbachias are a common plant that you will find at any big box store. The thing I will say about Dieffenbachia is they're similar to my favorite plant, which is, you guessed it, Aglaonemas, but their care is basically on the opposite spectrum of an Aglaonema. Dieffenbachia require quite a bit of bright indirect light. They need consistent watering. They need higher humidity levels. And so if you don't provide that particular environment for the Dieffenbachia, then they get a little bit leggy. They get a little bit more caney. And so for me, Dieffenbachia, as beautiful and as bright as their foliage is, I really have to not put as many Dieffenbachia in my plant collection. Now here's the thing, storytelling time. I ended up actually buying plants from Green Spaces ID, which is an Indonesian nursery that imports and exports plants to many places in the world. And I ended up getting a Dieffenbachia variegated form. That was for my friend who has yet to pick it up from me. But since I've actually put the variegated Dieffenbachia in leca, which is a semi-hydro substrate, it's actually pushed out a new leaf. So I don't know if I do get a Dieffenbachia, maybe I can just put it in semi-hydro and maybe it will just grow a little bit easier for me. And that's the thing, as far as like plants, if you ever want to simplify your plant care, and there's a lot of debate, there's a lot of discussion about semi-hydroponics, whether it's really good for a plant long-term, I will tell you, if you have over 100 plants and you don't have the time to simply water them, and I know that that is basically the most essential and basic function of a plant parent, is to water their plants, I would recommend converting your plants to semi-hydroponic. So I prefer lechuza pon, but unfortunately lechuza pon is out of stock, at least on Amazon. But as far as leca, which is a more cost effective, you'll save a little bit more money. It may not be as effective as lechuza pon, but it's one of those substrates that really make your plant care easy. Literally, I converted a lot of my Aglaonemas, for instance, and a lot of my plants into semi-hydroponics, and it has made things very much so less stressful and more satisfying in terms of just growing a plant collection, because we already know, plant foldies, that the part that is discouraging about the plant hobby is the care. And I know it sounds silly, but we can't literally pick up a plant like this calathea, for instance, and think that we could just set it and forget it in our homes. That's not how it works. I forget that sometimes because I will literally acquire so many plants, and the reason being is because I'm literally going into a big box store on a daily basis, and you know, plants are very tantalizing. They're very tempting to purchase. They're gorgeous. We want all of them. They're kind of like Pokemon, where you want to catch them all. The thing is, if you catch them all, they all require some kind of plant care. And I am a huge advocate when it comes to just putting your plants in semi-hydroponics, because it simplifies the care. Now, for those that have made it into the video this far already, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button. I know that I ask often and many times throughout any of my videos, and to me, I've always been very transparent of what I need from my viewers. I feel like beating around the bush or kind of insinuating something from the viewers is not my style. I tend to be a little bit more direct, a little bit more blunt. It may not always be the same flavor for everybody else, but I do find that you know, hitting the like button for these videos, pressing the thumbs up button has really helped grow this channel. And when we grow this channel, there are just a lot more people on the live premiere chats, which is super exciting. But to go back to the plants, you can see that I'm picking up one of my favorite plants, even though it is quote basic, even though people overlook this plant, even though people find less value for the Aglaonema red Siam. This is a plant that I would highly recommend anybody that is watching my videos today or have seen my videos to add to your plant collection. These are these Aglaonema, especially the Aglaonema red Siam, which I would say is really neck and neck with the Aglaonema Silver Bay as being a common Aglaonema. This Aglaonema, while it's slow, is a plant that is gorgeous, easy to care for, low light tolerant, a little bit more drought tolerant, definitely more forgivable in terms of just neglect. As far as plant pests, it might be susceptible to spider mites or mealybugs, but even then it's not really as susceptible to plant pests in general. It's easy to propagate. You can separate little babies from it, and what an easy plant to grow. And you know, I sound like a broken record when I talk about how everybody needs to get into Aglaonemas, but seriously, if you are going to be a plant foldie or somebody that watches my videos, expect that I will show you Aglaonemas, because there's this whole concept of plants that become trending, plants that everybody seeks, plants that find value, and I really think it's a lot to do with social media. So it'll be a topic that we talk about actually with the Cultivation Corner Plant podcast. My good friends Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plants, if you don't subscribe to their YouTube channels, definitely check it out. But we talk about plants and how they become trending or popular, and a lot of it has to do with social media. I think the world we live in is really governed by what is on social media. It's quite interesting how everybody in the United States was freaking out about, 2 days ago, about whether TikTok was going to be officially banned from the United States, and then it got reinstated. But a lot of our information is really pulled from social media. And so that's the reason why, as I pick up these plants, as I pick up all of the plants that you might have seen from a previous video yesterday, last week, a month ago, a year ago, I just figured I might as well use this platform to talk about the plants I want to promote, to talk about the plants I am passionate about, that I want other people to be passionate about, and that would be like Aglaonemas. So definitely hear more of that from me. But as you can see here, we are looking at some of these hanging baskets by Costa Farms. This is another Hydra Helix. And this one, unfortunately, doesn't really have a cultivar name. It's just saying ivy. Now, if you really want to know care tips for English ivy, definitely lots of bright indirect light. It needs quite a bit of light. You need to water the plant as soon as the soil is dry, or at least an inch of the soil is dry, the topsoil. You need to make sure that it has pretty good humidity. And if I were you, I would continuously spray it at least once a week with pest preventative spray, whether it's insecticidal soap or neem oil. I have noticed that since I've been collecting plants again, seriously for the past year, having that routine of spraying my plants with neem oil spray at least once a week has really cut back on a lot of the plant pests. And I would say plant pests like mealybugs. I had such a hard time dealing with mealybugs. Thrifts, that is just a killer for plants in general, and spider mites. And so for me, that extra care in terms of pest preventative really does keep your pests at bay, if that makes any sense. Now, as far as the boxes right here, you can see that they haven't even unloaded all of the boxes of plants. And yeah, I know I'm being a little bit bad and being a little bit more curious than I need to be, but whenever I see boxes at big box stores, I can't help but look in there to see what plants they have. You can see that this one is on a trellis. These are the live trends plants, and a huge fan of Live's Trends. And like I've said in all my videos, Live's Trends has the most stylish, most seasonally relevant, modern looking planters and plants. And I appreciate Live Trends so much. You can see that they've got some self-watering planters there. And then we've got some pansies here. So we're just going to keep walking around. And when you talk about seasonally relevant plants, first we're going to talk about Costa Farms plants. We can see that we've got a Sansevieria superbia for $15.98 in a self-watering 6-inch planter, as well as a Pachira aquatica or money tree plant. But I love the variegation of this, and super excited that I will be doing a collaboration with Succulents Asia, which is an Indonesian-based nursery that offered to send me some super rare Sansevieria snake plants to do an unboxing review. So definitely check that out. I do love Sansevierias or snake plants because they are easy to care for plants. They like to be more on the drier side. I would say they're definitely low light tolerant, but I would still say if you want to see them grow a little bit faster, you want to make sure you're providing them with bright indirect light. And like I mentioned before, Live Trends plants, they are seasonally relevant. So with the Lunar New Year just next month in February, you can see that they already have some Lunar New Year planters. I really love the little envelopes that they have. You know, Pachira aquatica is what I would consider one of those good luck plants or prosperity plants, feng shui plants, however you want to call them or however you want to frame them. I love Pachira aquatica. It is that money tree plant that is supposed to bring you wealth and good luck. This one is for $16.98. And I really do like the planters. I even like the gold trim on it. And so plant foldies, let me know in the comment section what you think about Live Trends plants specifically. Like I said, again, the more comments we have in the comment section, the happier I am, just because then I can actually engage with you guys. And if you are on Instagram, please send me a direct message. I appreciate all the plant foldies that have literally sent me pictures of their plants, pictures of the Aglaonemas. And yes, you guys have started to really get on the Aglaonema trend. Send me and share with me pictures of them. I would love to continue to engage with you guys as well. So just definitely follow me on Instagram. If you don't have an Instagram, plant foldies, seriously create an account. It is super easy. That is one way to get in touch with me directly and to also connect with other plant foldies. So just a different venue, but I'm just going to keep showing you more of the plants here. You can see that this is a Dracaena Sandriana, but there's several of them kind of spiraling around, I think, a cylinder, kind of like moss pole pipe there. So that one is for $16.98. Let's just keep looking at some of the plants they have available here. You can see right over here, Live Trends has some amazing self-watering planters. These ones are not a bad price at all. And you can see this one is a Sansevieria, or what you would call a snake plant. And I haven't really delved into a lot about snake plants, and I do want to talk a little bit more about those as I get my shipment of some of the more rare Sansevieria snake plants from Succulents Asia. If you haven't already, please check them out on Instagram at Succulents Asia. Follow them and definitely let them know you are a plant foldie. And then you can see over here, we've got some type of fern. And as far as ferns, I find them attractive, but it's not something I want to add to my plant collection. And the reason being is just knowing what is required of a fern, where you have to have a little bit more consistent watering, more higher humidity levels. For me, it's not really worth the amount of effort to plant, to grow these plants, at least in my personal collection. Now, some others may have a little bit more time invested to grow plants, but for me, I am more about plants that are easy care. And you can see right over here, a huge fan of the Live Trend ceramic hanging baskets. You can see this is an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. And yes, I love saying Epipremnum aureum. I've mentioned this in some of my videos. I'm curious to see how you pronounce Epipremnum aureum. Do you say Epipremnum aureum? Do you say pothos? Or do you say pothos? Please leave that in the comment section below. I prefer Epipremnum aureum. You can see this is an Epipremnum aureum neon. This is my favorite, Epipremnum aureum. Okay, I'll go ahead and just say neon pothos. It does sound a little bit more simple when you say neon pothos or pothos, however you want to pronounce it. But I would go and venture to say that the majority of us found plants through pothos plants. Like, I would say most people end up either getting gifted a golden pothos or have bought a pothos as a houseplant, or it's at least it would be one of the top 3 first houseplants you've ever received in your collection. And I love seeing the different types of varieties. These are the more common varieties, like this Epipremnum aureum marble queen pothos right here. I love all 3 pothos, the neon pothos, the golden pothos, and the marble queen pothos. Now they have other varieties of pothos, and as far as the Japanese pothos, specifically the Teruno World Series, I'm just excited to see that they are actually making it out into the US market. I recently acquired a Champs Ulysses pothos, which is basically a Japanese pothos that Costa Farms has been able to sell and make mainstream in the United States as a trending tropical plant. Of all places I found it, it was actually at Target. And when you think about big box stores and just shopping at big box stores, Walmart, Lowe's, and Home Depot typically are the 3 major big box stores you would find houseplants. But if you haven't made it to Target and you want to make a Target run, or you want to see some interesting Target plant finds or Target finds in general, definitely check out Target. They've got a lot of Costa Farms trending tropical plants making it into the market. They also have Live Trends plants, and they also have urban jungle plants, so definitely check that out. But as I pick up all 4 different pothos they've got here, we've got a marble queen pothos, a pearls and jade pothos, we've got a golden pothos, and a neon pothos. I would pick up all 4 of these and actually take them to my home. I do want to acquire even more pothos than I currently have. I have actually spent quite a bit of time just taking cuttings from my pothos plants and rooting them in water. There is something satisfying about creating more plants for yourself or to give as gifts to friends. Here is an Alocasia Black Velvet. This one again is in a self-watering planter by Live Trends. And if you notice Live Trends plants and their planters, you can see that they use a lot of neutral colors, lots of grays, creams, whites, and very intentional textures and patterns, and I love that. Now this is a Hydra Helix, or what you call a millennial ivy, or a Hedera Helix millennial. Love this one as well. And if you really look at the variegation, beautiful plant. But if you look closely at the leaf shape, it's got a little bit more rounder, robust leaves. Really like that as well. And you'll notice how the Hedera helix or the Hedera helix have very minute differences in their leaf shape and the basically yeah, their leaf shape and even the variegation. But as I pan away over here, you can see that they've just got lots of overage on the racks. Now, in terms of just being a little bit more critical on this particular Lowe's, I do think that their merchandising and even plant selection has been better in the past, but we are in the midst of winter and things are a lot colder than we would like them to be for plants. So I'm just glad that they do have plants available. And in terms of just shopping, whenever you feel like you are going to go shopping for houseplants, I would say Lowe's is probably the most consistent of all of the big box stores in terms of just having readily available plants, especially during the colder months of the year. You'll see that they do have a mixture of live transplants. Like you can see the very simplistic planters that they have. I love the Sansevieria or snake plant. This is the braided form. And as far as snake plants, again, if you're looking for an easy to care for plant, a plant that is for beginners, a plant that is going to give you less stress and more joy, add yourself a snake plant. And you know, a lot of times people look at the more common plants as a plant that doesn't have value because it's not, quote, rare, or it's not a trending plant. It's not a plant that you see on social media. And I'm really trying to change that outlook and try to reframe what plants truly mean or what plants can give you in terms of your plant collection. So I urge anybody that is listening to me or watching my videos to really reassess why a plant is attractive to you. Is it because of the monetary value? Is it because of the colors? Is it because of the rarity? Is it because it's a popular plant? Leave that in the comment section below. Obviously, no judgment here. If you are literally collecting plants because they are more of the rare or uncommon plants, kudos to you, because I am also in the same boat with some of my plants. I do like the more rare or uncommon plants, but as I've done a lot more of these plant shopping videos, as I've engaged and gotten to know more people who love plants, and as I've talked to my grandmother, and for those that don't know my Lola Belen, she is really the inspiration and the reason why I've even gotten into plants to begin with. My grandmother just grows plants because, number one, they really promote good health. The fact that she's going to be 90 years old next month is amazing, and she is of sound mind and body. She doesn't need any assistance in terms of walking. She still has good hearing. She doesn't really have any type of illnesses. And for me, with the new year being around, I am just hoping that she continues to have that great health and to continue to educate me and inspire me to really look at plants for not just that monetary value, but also for just the health benefits, the mental health benefits that plants give. And I think sometimes when we get so engrossed into like trying to follow trends for plants or trying to compare and contrast our plant collection, I just wanted to make sure that we're reminded that it's okay to celebrate a neon pothos. It's okay to have a collection full of pothos plants, syngoniums, sansevierias, or even better yet, somebody that is super crazy and just fanatical like me in terms of Aglaonemas. It's okay to do that. You don't necessarily have to be so involved with all of like the variegated philodendron or all of these different types of aeroids. I mean, if you ask me, I do love them, but at the same time, I also find joy in even enjoying this Scindapsus, for instance. This Scindapsus is an easy to care for plant. I would say when you compare a Scindapsus versus an Epipremnum aureum, I prefer the Epipremnum aureum because Epipremnum aureum are a little bit more vigorous in growth. And that's the thing. I like plants that are fast growing because I love to be able to wake up each morning. Mornings are my favorite part of the day, and I think I mentioned this before in previous videos. It's because the mornings actually remind me of a new day, new beginnings, new hope, just new everything. And to be able to wake up in the morning to see a new leaf unfurling, to see more robust growth in a plant, that's so satisfying. And I do think that, you know, golden pothos, for instance, or Epipremnum aureum are pretty fast growers, and I like that. And it's really interesting because the plants that I truly love and I'm just gonna say I'm pretty fanatical about it, is Aglaonemas. That is the only drawback about Aglaonemas, is that they're extremely slow growers. Even the more vigorous types of Aglaonemas tend to be a little bit slower when you compare them to like Epipremnum aureum. This one right here is a Epipremnum aureum lemon meringue pothos. If you notice the smaller leaf pothos plants, they tend to be slower growers, but at the same time, they're still pretty fast when you compare them to most houseplants. And the thing about it is, I think that if you're going to start a houseplant collection and you're shopping at a big box store like Lowe's, I want to kind of delve into more of the top 5 or top 10 easy care for plants in a future video, but definitely look at pothos plants. Now you can see some of the substrates that you could use to put in your substrates, like your soil. I would definitely recommend adding perlite. I would also use this orchid bark potting mix as well. So when I was potting up my plants mainly in soil substrates, I would amend the soil by adding a lot more perlite as well as orchid bark. Now you can see that this is another box of live transplanters, so it doesn't look like the employees have really unpacked a lot of the plants, but let's go ahead and be nosy and see what kind of plants they have here. It looks like they've got Epipremnum aureum, or what you call pothos plants, and this is so interesting. So this is an actual sculpture of a face, and this one is not a bad price at all by Live Trends. You can see right there, $16.98. You can see that that is an Enjoy pothos, and you can see that it is literally just coming out of the sculpture's head. That's kind of an interesting concept, and that's the thing about Live Trends. Not only do they have modern planters, very stylish planters, very seasonally relevant planters, they've also got fun planters like this. Now, would I add this to my plant collection in terms of the planter? Most likely not, because it doesn't necessarily fit my aesthetic. I think it's a little bit more random to have like a random head there, but at the same time, it looks like a lot of fun if anybody wants something quirky. And I've talked to other plant lovers, other plant foldies that prefer more planters that have a little bit more texture, a little bit more character, versus somebody like me that likes more simplistic planters, very modern shapes, very simple shapes, very geometrical shapes. That's kind of like the aesthetic of my plant collection, and I am really getting excited. I will be doing a houseplant tour. It's going to be a pretty long one as well, where I delve into not only plant styling, plant care, plant everything that has to do with just growing plants in an indoor space. I'm hoping that I can really represent a good quality plant content for y'all. It's one of those things where I don't really do elaborate plant editing in terms of just plant content. There are some other YouTubers out there that really have good panning on their videos, really has a good selection of music, etc., etc. For me, a lot of my plant videos are based on me just going into a big box store, picking up plants like this, and just filming them. I don't really talk or try to do videos where I'm talking live whenever I do a big box store plant shopping video, because number one, there's music that's being played, so that kind of flags anything that's copyright. And then number two, I just find it a little bit awkward to talk about plants, especially in a public setting, just because, I don't know, I'm pretty comfortable in my own skin. I'm pretty sociable. I will talk to anybody that loves plants, but in terms of filming, I prefer to just kind of film the plants and then go back and do a voiceover, and that's the only thing that makes it a little bit tedious whenever it comes to plants. Now, this is actually a really cool plant find. This is a Philodendron Hederaceum cream splash, and I know you can't really tell, but you'll see that there are white streaks here. I guess if you give it a little bit more light, you'll be able to see a little bit more. This is surprising because this is the first time I've ever seen Urban Jungle, or more so see a Philodendron Hederaceum cream splash make it into the market. So usually you'll see the Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil, which is basically the green with yellow, but you'll see close to the leaves leaves, there is some white margins on it. So that kind of makes it a little bit more of a subtle difference, but needless to say, that is more of an uncommon philodendron heteroecium. And then you can see right here, this is clearly a philodendron heteroecium Brazil. Now these are all for $14.98 in Urban Jungle ceramic hanging basket planters. Love it. I really would like to grow more plants on the ceiling, but the problem is whenever you grow plants that are hanging, there is more upkeep because the soil dries out a little bit faster, meaning it's not as accessible for you to just pick up the plant. You have to like either climb up something to bring down the planter, and then you have to worry about the support unless you are literally drilling holes to where it can really supplement, you know, really heavy weight. That's another like obstacle in terms of just hanging plants. Do I think hanging plants look amazing for a stylistic point? Yes, because then you are actually utilizing a little bit more space aside from just your floor space and your wall space. But I don't know, hanging baskets are a little bit more of a challenging thing. And even though I do have a house, I'm not renting, it's my house, I still feel a little bit awkward with like drilling holes all over. Now, as far as Phalaenopsis orchids, again, you can see there are many varieties here, beautiful colors as well. And I am surprised I haven't really been into orchids as much as like wanting to collect every single orchid. So here's the thing. The problem with me in plant collecting, and maybe some of you guys can resonate and really understand, or at least kind of sympathize with me in a sense that everybody wants to like either pick up a certain plant like this Hydra helix or the spear point ivy, for instance, and like you want to collect every single English ivy, or you want to collect every single, I don't know, Sansevieria, philodendron, monstera. For me, it's Aglaonema. Like literally, I'm over 50 plus varieties of Aglaonema, and with PlantCon 2025 in Orlando, Florida coming around, I've already pre-ordered quite a bit of Aglaonema from some of the international sellers to pick up, and it's like a huge addiction. And if you haven't tuned into the Cultivation Corner Plant podcast, my friends Janae Simone and Stephen of I Lift Plants, we are in the midst of filming season 2. We actually spent last week filming season 2 Cultivation Corner. We've got longer podcast shows, and we've got a lot of topics, but one topic I really wanted to delve into is how do you wheel yourself from coming out of a plant addiction. And when I say plant addiction, we're talking about the inability to stop buying plants, or the inability to just be satisfied with the current plants you have. So I've seen certain YouTubers in the past gotten themselves in trouble in terms of just spending so much money. Like there was one person, I was actually watching their videos where they ended up spending and calculating more than $30,000 on plants. Now, mind you, I haven't gotten to that level or even gotten close to that level, but I do see myself wanting to just keep acquiring plants, and that has become a problem for me because I do want to be financially responsible. It doesn't necessarily help that I'm doing big box or plant shopping videos, but needless to say, it is fun to be able to talk to you all directly via social media, via YouTube videos on a daily basis. And maybe some people, I've been given feedback that I probably talk throughout the videos a little bit too much, but like I've stated in all of my videos, I do utilize this platform to kind of give you my plant insights, to talk about plants freely, to let you know what's going on with my personal life, even if you don't see me. Well, actually you've seen me, but you haven't really seen my face. That's just my way of engaging with everybody. So hopefully you guys do appreciate that candid transparency. Now, as far as this Hydra helix or this Hydra helix, Florida, I am really fascinated by the leaf shape. It's got more pointy leaves, which I think is quite interesting, and that's one that I wouldn't mind adding to my plant collection. Here is a plant that's super underrated, and this is called the Dracaena Janet Craig compacta. Beautiful plant. green plant. And that's another thing I wanted to really create a trend on, is to get everybody excited about green plants. I think that if we are to define what is trending or what is popular, it really takes a bunch of us plant foldies to be talking about it on social media, because again, social media is a very powerful platform. You know, one minute something could be not so popular, and then the next minute it's the rave of the town. It's everything that everybody wants to talk about. And so it's kind of like a social experiment for me to be very intentional, very persistent, or more so, in a better way to say, very passionate about some of the plants I really want to plant influence everybody. You already know I talk about Aglaonemas. I will keep talking about Aglaonemas, and I hope that as I continue to really, you know, showcase Aglaonemas or talk about them during all my videos, maybe you guys will be a little bit more open. Now, as far as all of the other Costa Farms plants right here, you can see that Costa Farms has quite a bit of these exotic angel plants. Most of them will start at $5.98. This is a Dracaena Florida Beauty. I love this plant. Unfortunately, it is a plant that is quite thirsty, and so it hasn't done well for me. Same thing with this Balfour, our Aralia, beautiful variegated Aralia. It's another plant that, unfortunately, just because I am not much of a waterer, or I don't water my plants nearly as much, it's not going to make it in my plant collection. Same thing with this Fittonia. I mean, the thing I love about Fittonias is I love the veining, whether it's the pink veining or the red veining or even the white veining. Very nice plant, but it's another plant that I know, with the type of routine I have around my plant collection, or more so the lack of free time I have, or at least not even free time, because I feel like you can create free time. It really depends on the priorities you have on your daily life. But for me, I just don't have the wherewithal to go in and water every single one of my plants. What's made it easy for me, again, to water my plants and maintain my plants is taking a bunch of my plants and literally putting them under the shower and just spraying them down with water. Or even a more consistent thing is just converting a lot of my plants to semi-hydroponics. That just makes it a lot easier. But as I go around here, it doesn't seem like they've gotten quite a bit of a restock, but they do have all of the plants that are pretty consistent when it comes to Costa Farms. You'll see that this is a dark mystery Polea, and I love Poleas because they've got that nice silver metallic foliage that they have, and we'll just continue to pick up plants. Here is a Philodendron Birkin, and like I said again, Philodendron Birkin is quite a common philodendron. I do feel like Philodendron Birkin is becoming one of those philodendrons not a lot of people really want to grow in their plant collection, or it's one of those overlooked ones, and this is surely an overlooked plant. This is an Aglaonema Maria. Love that green on green variegation, and most people wouldn't really pick up this plant, but like I said again, Aglaonemas are number one, easy to care for because they are drought tolerant, they are low light tolerant, so you can put them in pretty much any indoor space and they will do just fine. Now, as far as giving them lower light conditions, they typically grow even at a slower rate, and if they're more of the pinks, reds, yellows, or whites, they're going to not have the best coloration or be as bright. But you know, even the green ones though, green Aglaonema are gorgeous. I do think that if you're going to choose between colorful Aglaonemas like pinks, most people would go for the pink versus the green, but I appreciate all forms of Aglaonema, and that is only for $15.98. So plant foldies, just continue to look at some of the plants here. I would love to know your insights about some of the plants you're seeing at your local nurseries, local big box stores, or even the video that I'm showing you right now of all the plants we're seeing. I mean, a lot of these are pretty much the common exotic angels by Costa Farms, but I still like to you know, show all of you guys that. So just let me know in the comment section what you think, and I'll just keep walking around and picking up plants as I show you what they have available at this Lowe's.
You don't want my heart, you don't want my love. You just want me crying over you. You don't want my heart, you don't want my love. You just want me crying over you. Thinking about you.
We've even got some Ulmus pulva, or what you call the Chinese elm. This is in a bonsai form, and I love bonsai as well. That's something that I haven't really touched base on my YouTube channel, but that is a huge interest of mine. I would say I was really more so into bonsai when I was younger. When I first moved to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I actually had an extensive bonsai collection, and that's something I want to go revisit at some point. But the thing about bonsai is it is really a hobby that you really need to grow your trees outside. Bonsai are really, it's really rare to have them be able to grow indoors long term unless they're a tropical plant. Then over here we got for $16.98, we've got another Syngonium. Look at the pink foliage on this as well. And you know, Syngoniums, again, I can give Syngoniums credit in the fact that they are fast growers. And I think that is the reason why that Syngonium plants are always going to be my first love. That would be the one genus of plants that I was really into and really wanted to collect. But the problem with Syngoniums is that if you don't water them consistently, they end up really declining in health very quickly. They become very leggy, and it's just a whole spiral, downward spiral when you don't water your Syngoniums consistently. And I know that sounds really silly for some people, because then people will ask, well, Richie, why do you grow plants if you don't water them? It's not that I necessarily don't water my plants. It's just that there are times where it's a little bit daunting. It's a little bit overwhelming. And I do ask anybody that's watching my videos, especially if you grow plants and you have quite a bit of plants, do you ever find yourself like avoiding watering your plants, or more so avoid just doing plant chores such as, I don't know, getting rid of dead leaves, repotting plants, cleaning the leaves, etc. I mean, leave that in the comment section below. And I know that I've asked quite a bit of engagement today from y'all, but like I said again, I just enjoy hearing from y'all. I know during the live premieres, for instance, there's quite a bit of chatter, and that's what's super exciting about just having a YouTube channel, is to be able to see that interaction. And so for those that actually tune in and participate in the chats, leave comments, hit the like button, sometimes even drop a super sticker, which is basically a monetary tip to support the channel. I really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I also want to thank Costa Farms for having these 8-inch hanging baskets of Epipremnum pinnatum, Cebu Blue Pothos. Love these as well. And again, the Epipremnum pinnatum is pretty much endemic to my home country, the Philippines. These are basically considered weeds. In the Philippines, they call Epipremnum pinnatum tibatib. And these you can pretty much see everywhere. As far as the Cebu Blue version, this Epipremnum pinnatum is a pretty vigorous grower. What I would tell you though about the Cebu Blue Pothos is it does require quite a bit of light. Any type of Epipremnum pinnatum tends to do better when you actually provide it with more light, because if you don't, it will actually shoot out runners because it's looking for that light. And as far as the actual plant as well, it does require a little bit more water as well. Now, as far as this is another interesting type of orchid. I think I forgot, it starts with an O. So if anybody knows the particular plant ID orchid genus of this plant, please leave that in the comment section. But I can't get over the fact that they do have 3 8-inch Cebu Blue Pothos. I'm almost tempted to purchase it because Epipremnum pinnatum, again, is another plant that I don't mind having multiples of. So, we've talked about in the past having a more curated, more subdued, less plants in your plant collection. But but you know, whenever you're trying to have less plants in your plant collection, sometimes it doesn't really allow your plant collection to have duplicates. But for me, Epipremnum pinnatum, especially the Cebu Blue, is one that I don't mind having multiples of. It's the same thing with Epipremnum aureum, and it's definitely a huge thing for me to have multiples of the same type of Aglaonema. Now, as far as Scindapsus trubii moonlight, I've been saying this for almost a year, but I really do need to get an Scindapsus trubii moonlight. I love the fact that it's got that beautiful silver foliage. Anything that's silver, anything that has a metallic feel for it, I am a fan of. It's one of those plants that I definitely could add to my plant collection. But like I said again, with Scindapsus, I think I'm not as interested in them because they're such slow growers when you start comparing them to the Epipremnum aureum. Now, as far as this, so what a gorgeous plant, and this one is starting to trail. Typically, I don't really see a lot of Scindapsus trubii moonlight trailing, at least at the big box store. And then you can see over here, we've got another Syngonium berry illusion for $5.98. Beautiful, faint red veining, pink veining. Really like that as well. And then over here, we have a Spathiphyllum domino, or what you call a variegated peace lily. As far as peace lilies, the only way I could really grow a peace lily is in hydroponics or straight hydroponics, which is just growing them in water, or putting them in semi-hydroponics like maybe Lechuza pond or Leca, because they're such a thirsty plant and I just wouldn't be able to maintain the watering requirements that they need. And then here's another Costa Farms bird's nest fern. This one is for $15.98 in a self-watering planter. I love the structure of this particular fern. You can see that they've got that serrated leaf as well. And this particular plant actually grows quite large long term. And then over here, we've got an Epipremnum. Sorry, not the I keep saying Epipremnum. I guess I'm just thinking of Pothos plants, but this is an Aglaonema golden fluorite, and some people would say that this is an Aglaonema green papaya. It might be because it has a little bit more green on it. I will say, if anybody from Costa Farms ends up watching my videos, I hope maybe in the future Costa Farms would actually put the plant IDs specifically for the Aglaonema, because I know that it's part of the Colorful Aglaonema collection by Trending Tropicals Costa Farms, but I would love to see the specific names of Aglaonema. It's just something that's interesting to me, and it's just something that actually has a little bit more plant recognition, brand recognition. Now over here, I mean, I would even call this an iconic Aglaonema. And the reason why I say it's iconic, it's because it's so commonly found at big box stores that it's okay to be called iconic. This is the Aglaonema Red Siam. And as far as the red borders, the red margins, you will get more pronounced red when you provide it with more bright indirect light. And that's the thing about Aglaonemas. So they are low light tolerant, drought tolerant. But the lighting conditions actually impacts the Aglaonema's coloration a lot more so than its initial genetics. So better lighting for Aglaonemas will result in faster growth, or at least faster growth in terms of just how slow it's growing already, but also just the coloration. And this is another Aglaonema. Now, I really need somebody to give me the plant ID for this. I haven't had the best luck with this particular Aglaonema. So when I actually bought this particular Aglaonema at Lowe's a couple months back, it actually ended up going to plant heaven. It was one of the first Aglaonema that ended up going to plant heaven very quickly, and I wasn't really sure why. I mean, I transferred it into semi-hydro, but I may try getting this again. If you notice, the leaves are a lot more narrow, and that's the thing about Aglaonema. You have leaves that are rounder, you've got larger leaves, you got really thin leaves. There's just so many different types of textures, and it's very exciting to see more people hybridizing Aglaonema. I would say Indonesia and Thailand are the leading countries when it comes to hybridization of Aglaonemas. But as you can see right here, lots of plants. I wouldn't necessarily say again that this Lowe's is really stocked with a bunch of new trending tropical plants or plants in general, but it still fits the bill where you can find something of quality like this one right here, another Aglaonema. This one is for $15.98 by Costa Farms. And you'll notice this Aglaonema red Siam has a lot more red to it. And, you know, I'm almost tempted to just purchase that because of the red coloration on it. I think that if you end up just giving it more light though, you will be able to push out more of that reddish tone to it. Leave it in the comment section if anybody has picked up an Aglaonema. And if you have Instagram, feel free to send me pictures of your Aglaonema or your plant finds from big box stores. I've seen a larger amount of people sending me direct messages on Instagram, and I welcome it. I love it. I'm hoping to see more of you guys actually interact with me on the Instagram. And if you are interested as well, because I've had some people actually reach out to me for some sponsorships in terms of maybe plant products such as grow lights or fertilizers, please let me know if you are. I will say beware. I am a little bit cautious about folks that are trying to get me to sponsor a product. I will say if your Instagram only has like 10 followers and nobody else is following from my followers, that sends me a red flag. And you know, as far as like scammers and stuff, there are quite a bit on social media. I will say that is also part of the reason why I stay faceless, because there is just a lot of things that are a little bit crazy out there. And sometimes when you're putting too much of yourself out there, you end up being a little bit more susceptible to scams and whatnot. Call me a little bit more cautious, but that's really the reality of social media as well. And I know that I probably spent quite a bit of time just kind of rambling on and talking about just many different insights aside from plants. You'll have to forgive me, but I'm not going to apologize. I just like chatting about the plants and just my thoughts about just things in general on these plant shopping videos. Kind of imagine it as if you were to go plant shopping with me. That's basically how things would be. Is I'm a talker. I love talking about just everything around plants and just things in general. Now this one right here is in an 8-inch planter. I have always been eyeing this Polynesian ivy, and I feel like this plant would be easy to propagate through cuttings as well as just being a vigorous grower. What I like about it is the leaves are a little bit thicker. They feel a little bit more waxy. They almost remind me of a Hoya, but not quite. And this is another one for $20.84. If I find one in a 6-inch hanging basket by Costa Farms, I may end up just buying it, but that is another plant I'd be interested in. But anyways, plant foldies, I'm just gonna keep picking up a couple more plants before I end this plant shopping video. Again, if you made it this far into the video, please make sure you are not forgetting to press the like button or the thumbs up button to support this channel. Your likes and your comments, your shares, and even your super stickers, super thanks are a huge help to grow this plant channel out. I'm hoping to get to 12,000 subscribers very soon, hopefully by the end of February. I just keep moving that date. It seems like the subscriber count isn't growing as quickly as possible, but like my plant influencer friend, Plant Poppy, shout out to him. It's not always about the number of followers you have or subscribers you have on your social media. It's the amount of people you actually inspire. So even if it's just 1 or 2 people, but they're truly engaged in the content that you put out, then that's truly what makes you a plant influencer. And you already know, plant foldies, I don't really consider myself a plant influencer. I just like to make these plant shopping videos, and I hope that I can spark joy and interest for certain plants. So we'll just keep looking at some of these plants, and then I will definitely end this video. Let me know in the comment section what you think of some of the plants I picked up today. And what I appreciate again about all of these plants is they at least maintain quite a bit of merchandising and trying to keep it as full looking as possible. I keep going back and forth and just looking at the plants. If you notice how that Aglaonema red Siam just sticks out amongst all of the greenery there, this one just has a little bit of cosmetic damage, but again, look at how gorgeous that red is. Now these are actually from the holidays. I know Costa Farms pushed out quite a bit of Aglaonema red Siams over the holidays. I think they were really trying to push that holiday color. I do think that Aglaonemas need to be a holiday plant, kind of like red poinsettias. I mean, they kind of have that same vibe if you ask me, but that is a really nice Aglaonema. And then we just have a couple more here. But again, plant foldies, as far as big box store plant shopping, I have some more videos ready to go for you throughout the week. Hopefully I can get more of these new videos out. If for some reason I'm not able to, I will do a long playing marathon compilation of plant shopping videos. I hope you guys will still engage and watch those as well, because it does give you a lot more time to interact and chat with other plant foldies. But as far as this late night plant shopping video, I hope that you were inspired to purchase plants, specifically Aglaonema. If you see that, I mean, because you can see right here from all the greenery, you can see that Aglaonema red Siam, you can see that Aglaonema golden fluorite. There's just quite a bit of them. And if you're going to ask me plant care tips, bright indirect light, water when the soil is completely dry. That is it. It's super easy and you should definitely try it out. If you like this video today, please make sure you are pressing the like button for this video, as well as subscribing to my YouTube channel at Grow Folds with all the notification bell on. This is Richie. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.